Greetings, every peoples! This is your cult of personality here, ToonKritic's name and Toon's name of my game. Welcome back to Roundtable's Magic, the weekly podcast show where me and a few other reviewers take a look at the following episodes from Season 6. Of course, you already know me, and I am, of course, joined by Voice of Reason.
I'm not a happy voice.
We'll see why soon. Lightning Bliss.
I hope that was your face.
That was my tongue.
Oh, that can be taken so many different ways. Keyframe and Golden Fox.
Alright, let's see what the keyframe has to give us a death sentence to.
Death to Toontown. Hello, everybody.
Wait, what? You're gonna destroy that one place in Disneyland?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
They had it good for too long.
I'll bet. You know what? I'll bet it's that mailbox that gave us right when we were at Disneyland.
Yeah, and this is Golden Fox of Golden Fox on YouTube. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Golden Fox.
You little uke piece of poop.
And of course, since we are broadcasting this live on Twitch, we have our head chat mod Eliora here.
And I think that's everyone, right, Tim?
No, actually, we are joined by a special guest. For the first time ever, we are having 7 people here, so please welcome aboard British Ninja.
Come one, come all, come and see the great and powerful British Ninja! Hey, Toon, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I didn't go to a great and powerful school to just be called British Ninja. And I coming on this podcast, I deserve at least the utmost respect to be called my full title, okay? So, I'm very disappointed. Still got some horses. Ugh.
And our special guest star, the great and powerful British Ninja.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Yeah, British Ninja. He's a pretty good reviewer, pretty cool dude. I know. Go ahead and subscribe to him when you can. So yes, today's episode, we took a little bit of a week break for some odd reason. I don't know why they decided to skip a week. But we are back, and we are here with a very highly anticipated episode. No Second Prances, a.k.a. Trixie.
A.k.a. Sephisto.
Sephisto gets a boner.
And PG went bye-bye.
We love you, Seppi. Oh, there's no way this is going up on EQD, is it? Anyway.
That was what I had to say.
Put Trixie on the thumbnail and we'll get it.
Oh yeah. Trixie, like right up there in the upper right corner. As you can see, this podcast is Trixie approved.
Just put Trixie on like all of our heads instead of our face. It's Trixie.
Like when you're editing this together, slowly fade in Trixie's face over everyone's face.
Anyway, what is our format today, Toon Critic?
Okay, so for those that have just decided to join us for these lovely podcast ventures and haven't seen our other stuff, how this works is we go around one by one, roundtable rules, discussing what we like, pass it on, and then when we get to what we didn't like, we pass it on from there. So it's pretty simple. Now, we usually do what we liked first, but I want us to switch it up and talk about what we didn't like. And I can think of no one better because someone is a grumpy grump that didn't like the episode. So I'm going to start off with Voice. One thing.
One thing, Voice!
You got one shot, thing. So make it count.
I don't know where to start or what to pick.
Just spin the wheel of hate and see what you land on.
Okay, I completely ruined Trixie's character.
Heresy.
I'm sorry, I just hated how Trixie was portraying this. I mentioned, like, countless times that Magic Duel is my favorite episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Trixie's arc in Magic Duel was great. I thought, her arc is like, her reasoning for coming back to Ponyville was justified. I thought her ascent into madness was great, and I thought her redemption at the end was actually really nice as a starting point. Starting point, thank you. As a starting point for something greater, like Twilight and Twilight Trixie sort of making small amends with each other. So I think, oh, this is great. Maybe sometime in the future, like Trixie can come back as actually initially what I had in mind was Trixie actually becomes Twilight's student, but now we have Starlight for that. But the way that Trixie came about this, it felt like Magic Duel was completely ignored, with the exception of mentioning the Alicorn amulets.
Yeah. It's been the whole season since then, and Trixie doesn't know that Twilight's a princess now.
But even then, the moment that really pissed me off the most was when Trixie came as I finally beat you at something, I win. When the whole ruse was that not even for Starlight was basically used for this episode, and I just Trixie alone made me Ghostbusters. I didn't like her. Magic Duel, I started to like her. I'm back down to hating her again.
One more person fallen off the Trixie train.
Yep.
And we just officially lost our spot on EQD for it.
Yep. I'm reading some of the comments in the chat now. Voice, you are dead to me.
Oh,
I'm just.
Oh, come on!
Come on, guys. Everybody has a right to an opinion, okay?
Let's see. Hang on. I want to see how many people. Let's see. I pissed off the Luna fans. I pissed off the Fluttershy fans, and now I pissed off the Trixie fans.
You better not
everyone.
So, no, well, at least we know that he'll never piss off the Pinky fans, right?
Right.
Oh, no, I never piss off the Pinky fans.
Good boy.
Catchy.
Okay, pat.
Let's record that just for later use.
Yes.
I will deliberately have Sketchy on for a Pinky episode. That's what's gonna happen to him.
The great and powerful voice of reason, may I be next?
If you will.
Merci beaucoup. I did not dislike anything in this episode. In all honesty, I've been waiting for the episode for season 6 that wows me, reels me in. And keep in mind, this isn't in my top 10 or anything. However, this is the episode that to me had something extraordinary, and I will talk about it once we get to the things that we like. But I want to say that I dislike the fact that I didn't dislike anything about the episode. Boom! I'm on the polar end of you, Mr. Reason. And the next person I'm going to pick is the guy who would probably be in the middle of the spectrum, Mr. ToonKritic.
Wow.
Fox, really?
I'm sorry.
First off, that is not my thoughts on the episode.
That was not me this time.
That was beautifully timed.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I'm trying to think about what I didn't like about this episode. I'm on Voice's side that I did not like how Trixie was portrayed in this episode. But I think if I'm gonna pick one thing, was the point of having Celestia in there just to have her be a throwaway gag? Was the whole party thing that was supposed to happen? Oh yes, you need to come to the party where we're going to, sit down with Celestia, let you know how things are. Was that just pointless?
I feel like it was a plot thing to help entice the conflict because Starlight rather be around Trixie than Twi.
But Celestia didn't do anything. She didn't have any lines except a groan at the end, and that's how I felt. I'm just like, congrats, Celestia, you were put into this episode for nothing.
Well, I have a feeling that she was going to have a bigger role. My personal headcanon is that they couldn't get a voice actor, and they had to make best with what they had.
Yeah.
I guess I can see that.
She wasn't credited even for the groan in the credit scene, so that could have just been anyone, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that she was originally meant to play a bigger role, but... I'm interrupting.
No, I'm just saying what I think is that I don't think she was put there to... She was there to help inflict the conflict, because if it was just a dinner with Twilight and Starlight stood her up at the prom sort of thing, that's one thing. But the fact that she has Twilight's past superior there's an actual stake, because even though Twilight and Celestia are, making air quotes here, equals, Twilight still views Celestia as a superior. Yeah. So that it entices Twilight to be angrier than what she would have been just Starlight not be there.
I was gonna talk about Twilight, but I wanted to bring this smaller point up instead in case it gets lost in the shuffle. Basically, Celestia was a plot device.
Yes.
Yeah.
That really, really sucks. I made a video about a lunar conspiracy, and I'm just like, give Celestia something, and on the next episode, freaking she does nothing. They're watching my videos, and they're giving me a big F you. I know it. I absolutely know it.
They're petting their plushies and just being like, how do we peeve off this one red and black top hat wearing brony, because obviously that's who we care about the most.
That's a target demographic
sure,
right there.
I'm pretty sure Josh Haber watches my reviews because he paraphrased me twice. Like once in Friendship Games and the other in the Crystalling.
Josh, if you're watching, I'd just like to say hi.
But yeah,
You're really cool.
I'm gonna pass this off to our guest, Ninja.
Right. What I didn't like about this episode, it wasn't Trixie. One thing I didn't like. I don't think the problem lied with Trixie.
Twixie?
But the problem I thought lied with Twilight. She has understandable motives, but it's presented in such a dislikable and spiteful way. Twilight was really, really unlikable this episode, at least from
not to mention it was, like, contrary to a previously established acceptance of the apology.
Yes. Okay.
I argue against that. She accepted the apology, yes. That doesn't mean she trusted her.
Right. Bliss, allow me to quote a couple of things from this episode, past episodes, and even the premiere of this season. In this episode, she ignores Starlight practically twice, and even goes back saying, "What? I didn't say that. I didn't say those things." In the premiere, when Starlight's saying, "Hey, I can't believe I'm staying in your castle," Twilight literally goes, "Oh, well, I'm not one to dwell on the past, and neither should you." You know, legitimate quote.
Yeah, that may have been true. That doesn't mean people forget that they say those things and then they just write it off the next, you know? It's not unheard of.
I understand that, but still, I would have thought that she would have had a little bit of more faith, a bit more trust, considering that is how she learned friendship. Spike explained that that's how she learned friendship in the premiere.
I'm going to just add a little addendum here. This is not my thing that I dislike, but I'm just going to add to British's point. She also was trying to control everything Starlight did. Despite the revelation on the train back from the Crystal Empire, how Celestia had given her space to learn herself.
I'm gonna refrain from saying anything until we get to the good part.
Okay.
Yes, I can see your point of view incredibly, but I don't know. It's presented in such a spiteful way, I guess. If this is the princess of friendship, then this is the least friendly she's ever been. So, who am I left to pass?
She's not supposed to be perfect at it.
It's Golden, Ellie, Bliss, and those are the three left.
Oh heck, I'll pass it on to Golden then.
Alright, I'm pretty much with two... What?
Nothing.
Anyways... I'm pretty much with ToonKritic about having Celestia in there just as a plot device and such. And to me, it just felt mean-spirited that she was just sitting there waiting. Because she goes to the trouble of spending her time with Twilight and not focusing on what's important for Canterlot and whatever else of her royal duties there are.
Is that your point?
Yeah, that's...
Which lovely lady do you pass it off to? Door E or Door B?
What about Dorothy?
Well,
shut up.
Okay, Ellie, you're up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're
You're
up.
up. You pick Door E.
Well, okay, British had already said the thing about Twilight. Which was what I was going to say, but...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. There was also another thing at the end. It's like, are we just going to completely ignore the attempted suicide?
I was going to bring that up in the good thing. Hey, no, I was going to talk about that.
The Ninja kind of wanted to be on this podcast specifically to get to that point. So
that's in my liked part.
You had your chance and you screwed it up.
Well, I think he's going to talk about what the things he liked.
Yes,
okay.
Ellie, you can present.
Well, I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to point out that is pretty damn dark, and I think might be the darkest thing that MLP has ever done, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
Now that you mention it, and to think that Hasbro will not allow AJ's parents to be talked about, right?
And I thought Amending Fences was like the saddest or supposed darkest we were going to get.
Amending Fences.
Do I smell a double standard, Hasbro?
No, that's the KFC.
Pride. This episode made me concerned.
If I could be a little vague in describing it so I can still have stuff to talk about later, I think the whole suicide thing is down to interpretation but is heavily implied. Because the fact... It's not as blunt and on the nose as I'm gonna go, kill myself. No, it's more she has to continue on with the stage act. There's ways of pitching it. I think they've very cleverly snuck this by Hasbro and the censors.
It's not like Plankton lying in the road and saying, "Please run over me." There's nothing explicit said.
I think
but it's still dark either way.
Yeah.
But we haven't really heard Ellie's thoughts on this, so
Go ahead.
Go, sorry.
Honestly, it felt uncomfortable. That it's just like, well, I'm gonna go throw myself into the Manticore's mouth now, even though Starlight ran off and I was depending on her to get me out of the Manticore.
You mean Starlight?
Whatever.
I think that's what she said.
yeah.
It felt really uncomfortable, and it's like, I did not. Maybe I'm just sensitive to that sort of thing, but I did not like that at all.
Made you squirm in your seat?
Yeah, because it's like, even with the whole, the show has to go on thing, she hadn't actually announced what the trick was going to be, or at least we were never shown that she had. She could have done one of her other usual shows.
I think the only other pieces of media that I've seen even cover suicide, I'm probably missing a lot, but the ones that spring to mind immediately would be Rick and Morty and Mr. Rogers. I mean, of course, Mr. Rogers was for all ages, but I remember that one scene in Rick and Morty where Rick nearly kills himself because of the loss of Unity. That's her name. But it's such a rare thing that's discussed because it's taboo. You do need to be incredibly careful when talking about it.
There's a thing about suicide, though, is that it does have to be mentioned. You do have to be made aware of it and why you shouldn't do it. I understand that it is a taboo subject and that this sort of thing is not appropriate to talk about, especially for children, but you have to understand that some children get bullied to the point of that happening, so I think it's fair that they
Yeah, but this wasn't bullying.
I know, but I'm saying
I'll get to that later.
I'm just saying in general, when they introduce, like, the small suicide subtext or whatever. There are kids that have been, like, bullied, and there are also kids that need to understand that that's not something to do. There are kids that have, like, done that. There are just about anyone who's done that due to, like, I guess getting to this point. Like, I can understand Trixie's perspective. She was pretty much abandoned, and she didn't know what to do, and she was just saying, well, you know what? To heck with it. But
it's subtext, Steven.
I know.
For me, though,
we're
it
supposed
has
to pick up on the subtext. That subtext is for us.
So yeah,
to throw in my own opinion on this.
Go ahead.
I mean, the whole thing with her, it just felt. I mean, I'm sure we all had experiences with this where we had somebody who had a certain attachment to either one of us or another friend, and they didn't want to be friends with this person anymore because of their behavior. And that person threatened to kill themselves if they didn't make them change their minds or guilt-trip them into staying. And that's what rubbed me the wrong way about this, because Trixie, the whole time she's about to put on this performance, she even said before she was about to be shot out of the cannon, Starlight, if you could hear me, I'm sorry. But for all she knows, Starlight wasn't even there and didn't even hear her, and she was going to die anyway. So it's almost like I felt like she was guilt-tripping in a way. Yeah, and that's what I didn't like about it. So, yeah.
Kat,
that is another interpretation.
No, I'm pretty much done. Door B is open.
And I basically just said my part, so can I just go out to the positive?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Right, you can spring load us off then.
Yeah, you can take us with the positive.
Okay, yay. Positive. I liked Twilight Sparkle in this. I have
Ooh.
very strong reasons why I like her about this. And yeah, I'm coming out with hooves blazing.
All
Oh, I
right.
agree with you. I agree with you, Bliss. So say your point.
I will say my point. So, regardless of what Ninja said, that Twilight does not judge people based on the past is BS. Everybody does that. She was probably just saying that to lower the mood or lower the tone, and that she had learned to grow past Starlight's differences. That doesn't mean she's done that for everybody else that's screwed up around Twilight. So, that being said, I honestly do not blame Twilight for how she reacted. Yeah, she was a little overbearing and clearly showed she didn't have a whole lot of trust in Starlight when it came to her judgment, because she knew exactly what Trixie did in the past. And what she was worried about, what she legitimately had a good reason to, is that Trixie tried to conquer the entire Ponyville town. And it's like, you really want a friend like that to like be a temptation for you, since you've had this in the past, you've done this yourself in the past. So yeah, Twilight was paranoid, and I don't blame her. And I've had personal experiences like that when I had a friend, and we had a horrible breakup over it because this friend either did something I really didn't like, and the last thing I wanted to see was that friend befriend another one of my friends, not knowing the past history between us. And I am going on a rant.
Someone bring her the chocolate.
If I may step in to create a discussion or to rebuttal that point.
My
Talking
point
about
is that, yeah, Twilight was a jerk.
Hang on, Ninja.
I just want to finish my sentence, and then,
Right,
I'll give it to Ninja. I promise I'll give it to Ninja. My point is, yes, Twilight was a jerk, but it was believable and with good reason. That's all.
I would argue that it wasn't good reason. Now, here's why. Back in Magic Duel, she was fully under the influence of the Alicorn amulet. Even when the moment she put it on, the shopkeeper said something drew you to this store, something powerful drew you to this store, implying that even when she wasn't attached to it, the Alicorn amulet was persuading her to try it out.
You know, he probably just says that to every pony that walks into a store.
Well, it's still context when used with the Alicorn amulet. That all of that then could be placed on the blame of that, and I have to credit Fat Man Falling for this. Back in Ghostbusters, Trixie didn't do that much wrong. She's a stage pony doing a stage show, and she's boasting about her magic because she's a stage pony. Trixie didn't do much wrong, honestly. The Alicorn amulet was a MacGuffin to make her evil.
She banished the pony without consent, and she entrapped everybody within the town.
That was under the influence of the Alicorn amulet.
Yeah.
That's my point.
What she found out later has that it will corrupt a pony within. So.
You're talking.
Effect.
You're talking about like before she got corrupted. Never mind.
Aye. That's my point, is that Trixie didn't really do much wrong. I could still see why Twilight would think that, but if we're really looking deeper, it's kind of sloppy writing, considering that if we actually look too deep, look at what she has actually done or not done, she hasn't done too much wrong.
At worst, she was a loudmouth bragger, and it was Snips and Snails that really caused trouble to the town.
Yeah.
Why does Trixie gain so much of Twilight's resentment when Discord has betrayed the entire kingdom? Let's see, who else is on the reformation list? Yes, twice. Starlight Glimmer nearly destroyed space and time after enslaving a cult. No resentment feelings against that. Again, the list goes on. Sunset Shimmer. Well, to be fair, in Equestria Girls 2, when Twilight meets Sunset Shimmer again, she's still that hesitant. Sort of,
but that lasts for like 5 minutes.
Very true. Mainly because she was on different turf, probably. But with Trixie, I don't understand why she suddenly got this sort of hatred towards her. Even back in Magic Duel, it ended with them on generally good terms.
Well, here's the thing about this in this episode. I don't think Trixie was more... Trixie really didn't do anything super, like, destructive wrong. Granted, she manipulated Starlight a little bit towards her side, and she I can see her end goal, but compared to like the last episode, and even compared to like her first episode, this is relatively tame.
Can I just add like a tiny rebuttal?
Yeah.
Sure.
Whenever people have been saying about Trixie's manipulating Starlight, I don't think she really tried to manipulate her at all.
Oh.
Or you think maybe the situation just laid itself out, and then when she saw the spot, she's just like, haha, it worked, even though I didn't do anything.
No, because the thing is that she said it herself in verbatim in the episode, that when she said, I finally win, that was something that she just said in the heat of the moment, which I think is a great line in the episode. It's just because it's a realistic thing for someone to say. When someone gets heated up, sometimes they say things they don't really mean. Especially that, Trixie does feel, she's shown that she does feel a resentment and a hurt from Twilight not trusting her, and given the fact that Trixie did apologize, which seeing Trixie's character, that probably wasn't an easy thing for her to do, and then her still not having that trust, especially given that Twilight's forgiven these other people, it seems like she would take the moment to try to put Twilight down a peg, and that made the conflict between her and Starlight in the third act, because she said something she didn't mean. It was because both Twilight and Trixie were in the fault in that moment. And it makes sense for her to say that kind of stuff, because Trixie didn't have any friend before, so the fact that she lost what she said is her only friend, it would make that big reaction and everything. So I think that moment, the third act is what I think was so good, but I guess, can I say the thing that I liked the most about the episode?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add, though? Or?
Oh, well, basically I said I just wanted to make the point that I didn't think Trixie was any sort of manipulator in this episode.
Oh. Okay.
We're just climbing higher and higher on Tithisto's love scale right now.
Yep.
Well, we're going to climb really high, because what I liked the most about this episode, along with the fact that I really love the writer of this episode. Nick Kaflone, I love his episodes, and the thing I love about his episodes is how he writes characters and character interactions. And I really love how he wrote Trixie and Starlight.
They did have a good sort of dynamic off of one another. I'll give them that.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I really love how he wrote Trixie and Starlight together and by themselves, because their interactions and the whole concept of those two being the ones to become friends, I think is so much of a good idea. And their interactions are realistic. They're just hanging out with each other. They make little quips and everything. And I saw a lot of my friendships with people and how they acted together just so casually. And especially with how he wrote Trixie, it wasn't just there was no thing besides her usual smugness, which, we're friends with people that are smug and they have that radiant vibe, even if they don't have any ill intent. They just have that kind of charisma and bravado.
Yeah.
And that's something that I see naturally in Trixie. And it's a type of personality that, is a very acquired taste, very acquired taste, in that, besides maybe a mixture of rarity and Rainbow Dash, but at more diluted levels, Twilight doesn't hang out with that. So Twilight naturally wouldn't attract to that personality, because it is shown in Ghostbusters a complete polar to how Twilight's personality works. So they are naturally in opposites, not attract oil and water situation. And I think, especially with how Trixie was written in the third act, and how her feeling of regret, her feeling of her saying, it was something I said in the heat of the moment. I just really love that line, because that's a line. That's just a statement that so many people should just explain context whenever something happens and they say something they don't mean, and trying to fix the situation up front instead of having it build up and everything, and her being like, oh, you know, she was quick to admit guilt. And so, I don't know, I just really love how Trixie was written in the episode. I like how all the characters were written, but Trixie, this episode made me love Trixie.
If I may, if I could have the next point.
Yes, you may.
Sure.
Okay, so bouncing off of that, I really did like how Starlight was portrayed in this. It's taken me a while to get used to Starlight. I'm still just a tiny bit salty over the Reformation, but I'm trusting the writers to do some. What?
You like Starlight, don't you, ToonKritic?
Uh-oh.
You know which face I'm making. You know which face I'm making too. I'm making that SpongeBob face.
Oh, you jumped on the glimmer wagon.
No, listen. I like how she was portrayed in this episode. I like how she was given a relatable role to work with, and she was able to use that to connect with Trixie. I thought that was nice how they were able to do that so that they could connect. I understand Starlight's point of view through all of this, and I was initially pretty worried seeing that Trixie just... What?
I know, it's the chat.
Toon like Krimmer.
Oh.
Hi, Starlight. You got
Yes, you know what to do.
Oh, no, don't ship me with Starlight. Come on.
Go
No,
fall.
but just draw a picture of you dressed up as Starlight.
No.
Lightning bliss, we
How
have a
can
new
you-
ship
How can
arriving.
you be dressed up as Starlight?
Style his hair.
No, absolutely.
Get the
He
hair
doesn't have
down.
long enough hair.
Stop it!
Anyway.
Shut up. Peachy will get on it. Okay, anyway.
That's a
Continue.
mighty ship, Maharty.
Actually,
Continue.
what was I saying? Hang on.
We're talking about
You're-
Starlight.
You were saying that you like Starlight and that Keyframe is the best pony,
I can't right now.
and that you want to give Keyframe all your subscribers,
Anyway.
and that Ninja is really awesome, and you want to have Ninja's babies, and
I'm still.
I was just recapping.
I specifically heard that, definitely.
Yeah. So continue.
Yes, continue. Oh God, where was I? Sorry about that.
We're
You
talking
like
about
Star-
Starlight.
Okay.
You like Starlight and her point of view.
Yes. I was really surprised that when Trixie just eventually revealed herself, just like, yes, I win. I want to say that Starlight's face is not only hilarious, but really depressing when you think about it. She's like, I just made a new friend, and then you do this to me. I was half expecting Starlight to turn on Trixie and just ramp up her magic. It's just like, you want to do this to me? You want to go? You want to hurt me? Okay, I see how it is. And then just freaking annihilate her with like one blast. And Twilight's just like, why did you do that?
You've
That would've
watched
been
too much
hilarious.
anime.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
maybe
think
I
that would have been a
have.
little over the top.
Just a tiny.
Dear Lord.
I mean, again,
Considering the show is called Friendship is Magic.
yeah, and Starlight is trying to redeem herself, you know, so I think she knows better than to just attack someone this time around.
Good point.
Although her instinct to magically modify is still there. Cough, Big Macintosh, cough.
Oh
I
my god! Why has nobody pointed out?
That was lovely.
We'll
There's a
go
lot of
with
things
that.
we missed out in this episode.
But I'm wary with Starlight in this because we see that her magic is getting much better, and that she seems to have slowly
Much
taken
better?
on... Oh, much better.
That's an understatement, dude.
Yeah, she's trying to find out.
I know it's an understatement, but the way that I see it, she's able to do quite a lot of amazing things that we haven't really seen, I guess, Rarity or Twilight do. Not to that extent.
like-
I could
like-
be wrong, but
Like turning baking equipment into a cake.
yeah, that
holy
was
shit.
pretty impressive.
Oh, that scene was hilarious. Like
Yeah.
Mrs. Cake's like, bet you trying to put me out of business?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm
Unicorns,
worried-
Master Race, man.
I'm worried people are going to start calling Starlight Mary Sue because of how power she or
No.
OP or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want that to happen.
OP, yeah.
Yeah.
OP, yes. Mary Sue, no.
Yeah. So
I hate the
I
word.
like Starlight's role in this. I'm not a Starlight fan yet. I have yet to be given an episode to where I'll fully be won over. It's kind of like how I was with Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. There had to be an episode where it made me fully convinced that I'm on this character's side. I can relate to this. I can be fully, what's the word? Fully
on board with this character portrayal.
Yes. So that's my
Connect,
point.
I guess.
Everybody start the timer now. At 5/3/2016. Count the days until Toon Critic converts.
Great.
We had to wait. We had to wait 4 years for him to become a Rarity fan. We can make it again. So who are you passing it off to, Mr. ToonKriticY2K?
Who hasn't gone yet?
Voice
Ellie.
Ninja, Ellie, Bliss.
I already went.
Has
Oh,
Golden
I
gone?
was the one
Golden.
who started it off.
I meant Golden.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Fox, you can go next.
Well, Voice is going to hate me for this, but I liked Trixie in this episode because ever since the ending of Magic Duel, she falls and trips, and then we see her again in Equestria Girls, where she goes up to the snack machine and goes all, "The Great and Powerful Trixie!" Well, like some second crack.
I'm so happy they didn't reference that.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, so they're going to write her off as a joke character from this point on. Nope, not until this episode where they started to take her character more seriously.
I'm. Go on, sorry.
No, I was asking him if he was done.
Yeah. There would be one other thing I wanted to point out, but
You can only say one.
yeah, I can only say one thing.
Give it to
Let's just say
Eliora.
let's just say that I argue against Matthew Swift and what he was saying in the chat box.
But
Oh, that's why.
so
Nope.
yeah, so
Oh.
who do you pass it off to these lovely group of girls and Voice and Ninja?
I'm the only girl who hasn't gone, so...
Well, okay, Voice, what did you like about the episode?
Well,
I think that you're picking for Fox. I mean, like...
No, he said Voice.
Yeah, I passed it to Voice.
We'll talk about
Toon already
it
talked
here.
about. Well, Toon already talked about Starlight, so I got to pick something else. So, I will say it was pretty funny. That's one of the confluent strengths is some of his comedic timing. However, I put in one exception, and that actually two exceptions. One is the nose hair trimmer line. That was dumb. And
No, I agree.
Two, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Rainbow Dash's expression.
Oh.
The
no,
only reason
the
I
worst joke. Go on,
Actually,
sorry.
I'm
I'll
with
let
you.
finish.
Okay, the only reason I disliked Rainbow Dash's expression was because I don't think that expression fits Rainbow Dash. That,
It's a Pinkie Pie expression.
yes, that, like, remember, I mentioned this in my video with Sega, in Gift of the Mod Pie, I could actually buy that her voice, like, her face becomes more, like, Pony.Mauve-ish. It says, but when I see Rainbow Dash do it, it feels like really awkward.
I guess maybe I'm kind of more used to it though because of all the expressions we saw in Tanks. So it's like, yeah, her face is just as manipulative.
I'd say that too, but it's more it's expressive but contained, as it were. This had like no restraints on the face.
I'll tell you what's a worse
the
joke.
facial animation.
Oh, I'll tell you what's a worse joke, and I can guarantee you people will do this at cons. Spitfire.
Ah.
I can guarantee you people will do that at conventions, and that's
Okay.
going to annoy me.
Spitfire!
Say, don't spray it.
No, I just spat all over Golden's face!
Really?
Hi!
I'm sorry, honey bear!
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God.
Right.
Because we are in a podcast and because you are my friends, I'm going to shut up now.
Right. Well, Ellie, would you like to go before me? You know, ladies first and all that.
Oh wait, I have to pass it on. So yes, Ellie.
Yes, you
Uh-huh.
get no
Yes.
say. You get exactly no say. So, you say the thing you like.
I hate you, first of all.
Does it start with big?
No, actually, it does not. Bite me,
Does
okay?
it end with Mac?
Help you later. No, actually, I had something in my head and now I forgot because you guys suck. You know, I actually liked seeing Starlight's struggle, like how she initial struggle with how she's trying to make friends and how she's obviously still fighting off her old habits. That's not something you usually see in the show. Like usually somebody gets over something and it's like problem gone. But she's clearly still fighting off the I was a powerful control freak instinct. As exemplified by Big Macintosh, yes, but she's also still using her magic without thinking about it, without waiting to hear, like, all the reasons or recourse, even while Twilight's in the middle of talking. So I think that's very interesting.
I do see that. That actually kind of, oh man, I was thinking of something, and I lost it. Dang it.
See, now you know how I feel.
Yep.
Now you know how I feel.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Give me a sec. You were talking about how this was going about. Oh yeah. This kind of bugged me going off that. How when she kept bringing up just like, oh yeah, you know, I did all that terrible stuff in the past, and that we know. This is just as annoying as when, like, you know, the whole thing in Rainbow Rocks. No offense, none taken. I'm just
well.
Like,
if I could object to that, this is Starlight bringing it up on her own terms. The other times it was the others bringing it up right in front of Starlight, and that was kind of a dick move. Right in front of Sunset, sorry. I get their names confused sometimes. But no, this is Starlight and Trixie just sharing playful banter that they've both been horrible people. I think that's okay.
Yeah, and if I could just make a little addition to his objection, I think the thing is that I'm actually kind of happy that Starlight is mentioning this, because you could see kind of like a progression, because you could see in the crystalling, she actually had quite, she felt uncomfortable saying it out loud and other people had to say it for her, like Spike, and the only time she did say it out loud is when she was finally at a breaking point. The fact that she's starting to get, like, comfortable with casually talking about it is showing how much she's growing, because there's also the internal thing, along with her struggle to make friends and try to recoup, like, a normal member of society. She also has, like, inner struggle with having to cope with the fact that she did all this stuff and kind of like accepting forgiveness of herself, because there's people who have forgiven her.
okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and one of the things to build upon that is to learn how to talk about it, and learn how to talk about it as if it was a memory without any pain being said when you're talking about it. Okay. Growth!
Right.
Continuity.
Ow!
Why is it she says ow right after you said growth?
Because I accidentally hit the microphone on my ear.
Yeah, man, but you know, growing pains.
Ouch.
Yeah, so don't gripe me out when you don't know why I say ow. British Ninja, your turn.
Right. Now, of course, I'm going to relate it all back to the suicide thing. And this is why I think this episode's awesome.
This actually makes it a nice little round off. We ended the dislikes on the suicide, now we end the likes on the suicide.
Yeah. The reason why I think this is a fantastic sort of way of covering suicide is because it technically wasn't a suicide. It was an attempt of suicide. And it shows that all it really takes is one person to help someone through that. It's like, Trixie is a person who's, at the point where she's considering it, she's friendless, she lives a life of solitude, and she's constantly hearing the whispers of other people who are judging her, and that's some seriously heavy stuff. And all it takes is Starlight Glimmer to help her through and show her that she cares, you know, she cares to help her out. And isn't that just the best damn allegory for attempted suicide that I've ever seen? Oh, sorry, is damn not allowed?
He also PG movies.
Oh, my bad. That's the best allegory I've ever seen for something like that, you know, just showing Starlight isn't even a popular person, you know, it can be literally anyone to help someone through those rough times. I think it's brilliant, and if it was intended, then again, I just have to tip my hat to Nick Confalone, who managed to sneak this past Hasbro. I think it's beautiful. I think it's the best way to end off an episode, and I love it. That's why I love this episode so much. And I am done.
Was that a high five?
That was a high five. Hey, Voice, would you like to join it? Up top, buddy.
Up top.
Up top.
Yes.
Self high five.
Yes. Yeah.
So is that everyone covered?
I think so.
Yes.
I think everyone went. Okay. Wait, Bliss, did you get to go?
Yes.
Give
She
one who
started,
started.
yeah.
Should we say how we would rank them overall?
Yes, the rankings. So,
Ah.
I have not been able to get this on screen, but so far, currently we have 4 episodes, now 5.
5.
Is it?
Technically 5.
Technically 5.
5, technically 6.
Oh, okay. Well, we have an amount of episodes that we can look at. Where's the thing? Voice, I think you've linked it to me. It's in here.
Give me a sec. Hang on, I'm gonna link it.
No, wait. Zega gave it to me. Alright, boom. There we go. Okay,
Ow.
so...
Oh my gosh, that hurt.
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, alright. So, this is our 5th episode that we've had to work with. Technically 6, but we're just counting this. So, where do we want to rank No Second Prances?
What is the listing right now, my dear?
Let's see. I believe if I can... Oh boy, now I gotta scramble through my documents. I thought I had this open. Crud. Well, we have individual rankings, which we can...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like what?
That's what's
What
the
is
individual
guiding?
rank.
Yeah.
Right, so should we just go around again then?
Hang on, one of my documents here had a thing in there where I could look it up.
Professionalism and preparation, ladies and gentlemen.
This podcast
Yep,
is
that is
hardly
finest.
professional.
This is the top tier of analysis.
Yes, indeed. That's what we do best. We're unprofessional. Crap, I don't remember which thing I put
Zap
these in.
forth. I appreciate the comment, but you don't need to spam it. Thank you, dearie.
Spammity spam.
Spam.
There's always that one
Get away
guy.
with the cute factor. It's like I think he's trying to antagonize me to shoot somebody.
What? No.
Okay, Zapforth, stop spamming, or I'm going to mute you.
Okay.
I
So-
give it a manticore out of 10.
Okay, so Keyframe, where would you rank this? Currently, the Crystalling is number 1 for you, followed by Gauntlet of Fire, then Gift of Mod Pie, and then On Your Marks. Where would you put this episode?
I am going to put it tied with Gift of the Mod Pie.
So that would be for you 3rd place.
Actually, I'm thinking.
Well, here's the ranking thing. Rating, rankity, rank.
Rickety rank.
Yeah, kitty.
Let me
Don't go back.
let me take a quick gander. Says I'm unable to open it. You know what? I want to put this as my number 1 episode so far. I said it. Fight me, scrubs.
Shall I? Alright,
She
what's the
likes
rules on
it.
this? Am I allowed to add my own box, or?
No.
We'll put it
No,
on,
you don't
we
get
can
a
put it on
box.
like
Put a
a guest on
guest
the
tally,
side.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, I can't
Fox, where
edit
would
it
you
so
put
well.
this episode?
Let's see. So number 1, I had Gauntlet of Fire. 2 was the Crystalline. What was number 3?
Gift of Mod Pie.
Yep.
Pie.
And then last place was On Your Marks.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm thinking.
I know, I'm just giving you a little back massage.
Oh, okay. Let's see. It's kind of I would say it's a tie between Gift of the Mod Pie and No Second Prances. Because the two of them I was able to get engaged through its humor, through its subjects. I don't know. Like, I'm going to have to really think this one over. I'll put it below Gift of the Mod Pie.
Alright.
So he's ranking it 4th.
Okay, yeah, I'll fix this. So I'll just set that to 5. Alright, Voice has already put his down. Eliora has put hers down. Alright, groovy. Yeah.
Stop stealing my lines.
Hey, I like groovy. How about I say that's rad, or that's...
Go back to using groovy, please.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
That's like radical, bro.
It's like special.
Tubular.
Oh,
Hey, Pristine. Hope you're doing okay, amiga.
Okay.
Alicorns unite!
so, like, create a guest tally to it? Maybe?
Make a guest tally real quick.
I think you're the only one who can edit, isn't it?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm walking on sunshine.
Oh!
Okay. How would you rank it then?
I'd rank it second.
What's
Okay.
number 1?
Gauntlet of Fire.
We also, we don't have this on here, but we have an overall podcast episode ranking as well.
Yeah.
Which is all of us, our averages consensus. So, currently,
Here, I'm putting it on.
yeah, the overall overall average final, I guess, for all of us. Number 1 is Crystalling. Number 2 is Gauntlets. Number 3 is Gift of the Mod Pie, and number 4 is On Your Mark. So, overall, what can we agree on for No Second Prances?
I think it looks like it's pretty middle of the road, like 3 or 4.
I'd say 3.
Let's put it at 3.
I'd say 4.
personally say 2, but if we're meeting in the middle, then sure. How about that then, Voice? Me and Voice will counteract each other. If I give a 2 and he gives a 4, that equals 3.
Okay. So yeah, Crystalling is still 1, Gauntlet is still 2, Gift of Mod Pie is 3, and number 4 is On Your Mark. So, let's see. Oh, hang on. Okay, I am gonna hijack something from Key this time.
What?
If you've made it this far in this podcast, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to comment Titanic.
And go subscribe to British Ninja. Titanic.
Stop it! Stop it! I fixed myself! I fixed myself!
Fox, do you want to do it?
Yes. Type down Titanic. And I was playing a game on Earth. But I won't play that.
I'm slapping you!
Why bother changing the name? It's just gonna have the 12 main characters anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna tickle you. I know you hate being tickled. Don't look at me with that face. I'm not forgiving you.
You're gonna call.
I'm not expecting you to forgive me.
There's nothing you can do to make me feel better.
I'll get with you.
Okay, I feel better.
Wow, Penguin Lord 75.
What did Penguin Lord 75 do?
That's a lot of Titanic.
Titanic.
And Matthew Swift called me Golden Facts.
I'm going to
With an
bed.
A.
Good night, everybody.
Yes.
Golden
You all
facts
making it
temperatures.
This far, this has been a fun episode.
Wait, I have a question for the commenters.
Oh no.
Oh
What?
God.
Oh
God, here we go.
You can't take this away from me. Now that Trixie has made a friend with Starlight, would you like Trixie to be a somewhat recurring character along the lines of Discord? And if so, what kind of plots do you want to see Trixie?
John D. Lance retired.
What?
No, I heard he's coming back for this season.
He's got a
Okay.
couple of episodes scheduled.
I heard he's coming back for more episodes.
Are they gonna
Well, I'm
kill
saying
off
saying
Discord?
like along the lines of Discord that he comes back for 1 or 2 episodes. But I'm saying like, if so, what kind of plots would you like Trixie to go through? Would you like her to have more interactions with Starlight, or have an episode with just specifically her and Twilight, or with the other main 6? You tell us in the comments below.
And as
Yes.
always, like, comment, subscribe. Go to our Twitters. Go ahead, subscribe to all of us. Subscribe to British Ninja because he's a
Money!
dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, people. This was great fun.
Yes, join us next week, Sunday, 5 p.m. Central, for real this time, where we discuss the next episode. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but I'm very happy about it. Am I allowed to say who the
No. Sure. You keep that under your top hat, sir.
No.
I can't even say that. Wow.
I think we all need to leave in a dash. Damn it!
Oh well. But you'll be interested to know that on the next episode, we will have Josh Scorcher. So you know this is going to be a big episode. Hopefully. More than likely.
Hopefully, yes.
Anyway, thank you guys for being here. We will see you guys on the flip side. Stay awesome.
Deaf to Toontown.